Hey everybody, it's Jason here again with KC&H Custom Guitars in St. Louis. So, the last video I had with this Les Paul was stripping the poly finish off with a heat gun and scraper. Next I want to talk to you about prepping the body for paint, stain, dye, whatever it is that you plan on doing. And there's a couple different things you want to do. As you can see, this thing has been stripped, but you can't paint it the way it looks right now. You need to finish sand it. So what we're going to do is start with a nice hot low grit sandpaper and clean up whatever's left over from your scraping, any residual poly, anything like that, any rough spots, because inevitably you're going to make some scrapes and gashes in the wood while you're using a scraper, so you got to clean everything up. And then we're going to work our way up. I use 150, and then before I paint, I use 320 and get everything real nice and smooth. So once you get there, you need to decide what kind of finish do you want. Do you want it stained? Do you want it painted? This is mahogany, so this wood is very porous. You can do a very natural finish on it with some stain and stain it and have it open pore, and you'll be able to see the grain and the pores in the wood. Or you can, if you want it more of a factory, very nice and shiny finish, there's a few more steps that you're going to need to take. So if I was going to make this thing as perfect as I can make it, nice, shiny, looking from the factory, what I would do next, once everything is sanded at 320, everything is cleaned up real nice, I'd use a product like this. This is a wood filler. You could use, there's a whole bunch of different wood fillers, pore fillers, all kinds of different things. This one's pretty nice. I've used it on a bunch of stuff. You just put it on, smooth it out as much as possible, and then sand off all the excess. And then what you would do after that is put a sealer on, a primer, and sand in between those, sand them all flat. And then once you had everything primed and sanded flat, then you would move on to your paint. Now, me personally, I like a very thin finish, and I do a lot of relic jobs. So I don't ever use primer. Usually what I do is I get it finish sanded. I might use a Lacquer Sealer, like this product here. It's Balin Vinyl Sealer. It's a lacquer sealer. Works really good. Put that on maybe before my lacquer coat or before my paint. What sealer does is it keeps your paint from bleeding into the wood differently so that it goes on evenly. So you could do that before you stain or before you lacquer as well. What I'm going to do with this, depending on what the customer wants, is I'm going to finish sand it, and I'm still cleaning it up right now. I'll probably seal it, and then we'll paint over top, and then we'll be done. Once you're done painting, you'll move on to wet sanding. And I think I'm going to make another video on wet sanding and buffing once I get to that step. Again, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Thanks a lot.